Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing well today. So, this is for my Instagram Live. I'll be posting this video on YouTube as well. Um, so, in this video, I'm going to talk about the difference, between my Sensual strength training class and my sacred Puanani power class. A lot of people have been probably seeing me post about it. And some of you are familiar with my work, some of you are not. So I just wanted to talk about that really quick and give a differentiation. Sorry. So my Sensual strength training class, I started teaching that class back in 2007, so 10 years ago. And that class has three components. First, my background is in exercise and sports science and strength and conditioning, training athletes. That's what I got my degree in 2003. And so I just noticed, like being in the fitness industry, that a lot of women are afraid of lifting weights. So many women think that, 5 pounds is all they can lift. If they lift heavier than that, they're going to look like a man, which is a total myth. And a lot of people, male or female, but especially men, because men are the ones that we usually see in the weight room, most of them are lifting with awful lifting technique. I see it every day. I don't care what city I'm in, what gym I'm in. Most of the men lifting are lifting with awful technique. And that's how you get injured. Lifting weights is not a contact sport. So you should not get injured lifting weights. If you do, you're doing it wrong, period. And some people may not have been injured, but it's just a matter of time. And you can look at them, I can look at them and see. So with my Sensual strength training class, I want to teach women why it was important to lift heavy weight and how to do it properly, okay? So many women are intimidated about going into the weight room because there's so many men and they don't know what they're doing. So that was the first component. Also, the weight training is important because in men and women, it increases testosterone. Testosterone is what fuels our sex drive. I know for me, after I work out, especially my legs, I'm like super aroused. I get aroused from that, and that's that testosterone pump. There are many articles and studies that show that women do get aroused from workouts, strength training workouts, sometimes have orgasms in the gym. So that's a really important thing for men and women to kickstart your sex drive, is strength and power activities. Not jogging for miles, not that, because that will decrease your testosterone, decrease your muscle, but strength training activities. And I have a YouTube video about the importance of strength training, so you can check that out and learn more about why that's so important for both men and women. So that's the first component. Second component is dances of the African diaspora that involve hip movements, which most of them do. Dances that are centered in the hips. And while belly dancing is very good and has its benefits, dances of the African diaspora are different because there's footwork. Belly dancing doesn't have a lot of footwork. There's a little bit of footwork, but it's not a lot. When you do dances of the African diaspora, so I'm talking about Haiti, Cuba, Brazil, United States, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Peru, Jamaica, like whatever, all those places, all about the footwork, your hips, your head, everything is moving on different rhythms. And so that requires a lot of body consciousness for one, and body control. When I see people who just are so awkward in their bodies, it's like, it tells me something about your mind-body connection. Everybody's not a professional dancer, but some people are so jerky and odd and so dance to me is the most efficient way to get someone to pay attention to what they're doing and increase their body awareness. Dancers to me have greater body awareness than anybody else. So the dancing, A, increases body awareness, but B, the dancing also helps women to get in touch with their center, okay? This is important for men too, but we're talking about my women's class right now, Sensual strength training. So helps women to get increase their awareness in their center and get control. Like a lot of people are obsessed with having tight abs and that's cool, but you don't want your abs to be too tight. You don't want, especially as a woman, you don't want this to be so hard that it's like rock hard, just like your booty. But for your abs, it's more important for a health standpoint. For the booty standpoint, I just don't think a lot of people like a rock booty. So some fat is good here. But even in the abs, you want some buoyancy. You don't want to just be super like concrete hard. That's not good. Okay, it's not good for many reasons. I also talk about that in some of my womb videos on my YouTube page, so you can see more about that. But we want to get fluidity in the hips, be able to control the hips and undulate the hips and have some looseness in the hips. You don't want to just be so rigid where like you can't circle, you can't circle the hips and you have no fluidity. That's super important because most of our blood supply and our arteries, our major arteries, run right through our hips, okay? As women, we store trauma in our wombs. We can store trauma anywhere in our bodies, but it especially can be stored here. So the dancing helps to increase a woman's body awareness, helps to increase her awareness with her center, because the woman's center of gravity is here. The man's center of gravity is more up here. So that's very, very important. So dancing is for all those things. Also, the dancing serves the purpose of increasing testosterone, because dances of the African diaspora are usually explosive power type movements, which is testosterone based, but then at the same time, moving the hips helps to increase estrogen. So it helps to increase testosterone and estrogen. So it helps to balance, Plus women like to feel sexy and get into that mode. So that's the purpose of dancing serves. Then the third component, which is what gets a lot of people's attention, but most women who take my class tend to love the dancing the most. But the use of yoni eggs, Puanani eggs, which I've been working with for 12 years, but have been teaching this class for 10. And they come in different sizes. Like here are two different ones. This is a medium Amazonite egg, and this is a large moonstone. See the difference? Some people say that this is a medium, some sellers. I consider this a large, and this is a medium, okay? Now, working with these eggs internally not only helps a woman to increase the strength of her vaginal muscles, but also helps to increase the elasticity. Like you don't want just rigid, stuck muscles. You don't want your vaginal muscles to just be clamped down and stuck. Most men that I've talked to say that, I've known men that have told me that they've had sex with women who were so rigid that it wasn't comfortable. Like she couldn't open up. She was just too rigid, too tight, too clamped down. You don't want that. Just like you don't want a butt that's just all muscle, You can do what you want for yourself, but I also know a lot of men don't like that either. They like some jiggle. Meanwhile, women are freaking out about cellulite, and I don't know any men that complain about that. And we all have it. I don't care how thin we are. All women have some cellulite. Another story. But vaginal muscles are meant to be elastic, okay? And so that means elasticity means if something is this tight and then it stretches out to here, which with the vaginal muscles, this should only be during birth. But if it stretches out to here, it should be able to go right back to here again. That's elasticity. If something is this tight and it stretches out to here and only goes back to here, then it's not elastic. It's lost its elasticity. So working with the eggs helps to increase the elasticity of the vaginal muscles. So you ask where you buy the egg at? Well, I sell eggs myself, actually, and have been selling them since 2010. I have a huge shipment coming in as we speak from India, and I'll be posting pictures of the ruby, of the moonstone, the rose quartz, amethyst, aventurine, lapis lazuli that I have coming in. You can always email me about that if you're interested. So the eggs help to strengthen the vaginal muscles, increase elasticity, strengthens the muscles of the pelvic floor. It also helps to increase a woman's orgasmic potential. So some women have orgasm problems. I wasn't one of those people. But if you're a type of woman that's never had a vaginal orgasm or you're not very orgasmic, the egg will help. If you're a woman who has no problem with orgasms, they just become more intense. So wherever you are, your orgasms will become more intense. And that's important from a health and spiritual standpoint for women, which is something I'll also get into in my class and talk about in other videos. It helps to dissolve trauma. It helps. Someone asked me if I made this chain. No. An artist in Philly made this chain named El Poeta, and you can find him on Instagram. I can't remember if that's his Instagram name, but if not, hit me and I'll send it. But the egg helps to increase the woman's lubrication. It makes her wetter. So even if you don't have a problem with wetness, you will become wetter. If you are having an issue with that for a variety of reasons, could be menopause, whatever, it helps to increase your wetness. It helps to increase the Bartholin glands, which stimulate mucus, which secrete mucus when we're stimulated. That's important for a woman's vaginal health as well. Okay, so there's a lot of purposes of remaining juicy as a woman, so that's important. The egg helps with that as well. And it helps a woman, like when you do exercises, like I teach exercises in my classes. If you just wear the eggs and do nothing at all, it'll help strengthen. But if you learn to do exercises like moving the egg left and right and front and back and up and down and doing clapping motions with your vaginal muscles and learning to separate the different parts and get micro control, rhythmic control of your muscles, that makes you so much more sensitive. Like you get to the point where you're so sensitive that just doing a few contractions can make you have an orgasm or generate that orgasmic energy. And then when you're with a partner, if it happens to be a man, he feels that. Most men that I know tell me that maybe a couple times in their life they felt a woman like contracting. And it's pleasurable to men, you know? So it's pleasurable to you and it's pleasurable to the man. And if you don't have sex with men, because some women are like, well, I don't have sex with men, why does it matter? It still helps to increase your orgasmic potential, your sensitivity. And so that happens regardless. So it's not really about doing it to please somebody else, even though it can please a man. But it's also about you because your orgasmic potential becomes greater. And that's really, really important for so many reasons. So that's my Sensual Strength Training class. And I have a longer video about that on YouTube. Now, my other class, Sacred Puanani Power, is a little bit different. In that class, we don't do the strength training stuff. That's not in the curriculum at all. There's a little tiny bit of dance movement, tiny bit, just to get you a little, connected to here, a little bit of movement. Not really with the intent to like work up a sweat and from the fitness standpoint that the Sensual Strength Training class is actually like really a fitness class. Sacred Puanani Power is a little bit of dance movement, but we do more internal exercises, a lot of breast massage. We work on ovarian massage, moving sexual energy from the ovaries to the breast. And we also talk about how to maintain vaginal health, natural spermicides, and natural ways to prevent infections. And so that's what Sacred Puanani Power is. Also really opening up those channels in both classes, opening up the channels to be able to cultivate and store sexual energy. Okay, so this is basically, and I have longer YouTube videos about both of these classes on my YouTube page, The Body Scientist 81 and Renaissance Amazon. I highly suggest watching them so you can find out more about them. And yeah, so I just wanted to do a brief little video because I know some people may not know the difference between the two classes, so I wanted to put that out there. And I also have an online video class as well for people who are working with eggs to learn various exercises to get control. The online class is 9 classes in video form that you get to keep forever, and the price is $150. However, for the next week, today is Friday, so from this Friday until next Friday, I will be offering the class at, if you purchase an egg, you'll get the price of the egg subtracted from the class. So if you purchase an egg and your egg is $55, just making up a price, then you can get the class for $95. So that is the deal that I'm running for the next week. You can always email me at thebodyscientist81@gmail.com to ask me questions or speak about it and make everything happen. So I hope this video was helpful. Please go ahead and check out my YouTube pages, my videos, so that you can get a better idea. And have a great day, people. Bye-bye.